Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Real Reds Talk, an authentic football fan channel made in Manchester. Transfer deadline day set for Manuel Ugarte. Some breaking news coming out in the past couple of hours from Jamie Jackson from The Guardian. We're definitely going to discuss that story and the implications it could potentially have if we risk it a little bit. Risk it for a biscuit, one might call it. Jadon Sancho as well. Balance hangs something backwards. Future hangs in the balance. 50-50. 60-40, I think, actually, Romano said. So that deal could still be on, which I'm very surprised by. And I'll give you my take on that personally in a moment. Plus, we've got a couple of outgoings, some news on Hannibal Mabry and some news on Will Fish. And Harry Maguire has done an interview with MUTV, I believe. And there's a couple of interesting little gems in there that I want to talk about and I want to break down. So as always, if you're live right now, or even if you're watching this later on, you know, you've just got back in bed, you've put your feet up, you've had your bath, you've had your cup of tea and you're ready for bed, that's when, you know, you might be watching it then please do smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Just to let you know very quickly as well, before I do dive into the topics, the video has been done for Ugarte versus Casemiro. Now, when this drops, I mean, I might, depending on when it's currently uploading now, so if it uploads by the time I'm at the end of the stream, then I'll drop it for members. If not, I'll drop it in the morning. But can you just imagine if I drop it and then it announced that PSG's keeping Ugarte, I'll look like a right mug. But anyway, that's the content world that we live in. Sometimes these things happen, you can't get past them. It is what it is. But what we can do right now, because we are live and right in the mix, is talk about the Ugarte deal and where we're at with it at the minute. So let's get the latest update from Jamie Jackson, saying Manchester United are willing to wait until transfer deadline day to sign Manuel Ugarte. There does not have to be any outgoings to finance the deal, although PSG's 51 million valuation is deemed too high by United, and there is a belief that it may reduce as it nears, deadline day. So basically, when I hear that, I'm sat there thinking, well, if that is your tactic, you've just given it away, haven't you, to PSG? If that's what your plan was to do, a PSG are going to read that and they're going to be like, oh, right, they're going to try extort us towards the end of the window. I mean, maybe they already knew that anyway. I mean, maybe a bit naive to not think that. But do you know what I mean? Like, you're kind of putting your plan out there. So, yeah, we're going to wait until the end. Like thinking you're dead clever and going, yeah, we're going to wait until the end. Don't you worry about it. Brief it to a journalist or, a journalist. I've told this journalist this. And then PSG like, well, if you think you're just going to take us for mugs on the last day, it ain't happening. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to go on. I do think it's a risky move. But you'd have to think maybe, they've got it on good authority that they definitely need to sell and they really don't want to keep hold of the player. And that's why they're willing to be patient and drag it on to the last day. Yes, you're going to miss a couple of games, potentially. Ugarte probably won't be available for the Brighton. Well, definitely won't be available for the Brighton game. Probably won't be available for the Liverpool game. I'm not sure who we play after that. Is it Crystal Palace or something? Might not be available for that. But in September, now we might be able to start talking. And then he can get, integrated into the team. So, to miss a couple of games for the sake of what would be £10 million, when you put it like that, it's probably worth it. I know people are desperate to get him in. I do think Casemiro's rejuvenation a little bit has helped that because, it had Casemiro started this season the way he was playing last season, there'd only be more pressure on United to go and get this deal done. But because he's been a bit leaner, a bit more controlled, a bit more protected, it's not been as bad. We're not out there craving the signings. Like, don't get me wrong, I really want this deal to happen, and it would put a skid mark on the transfer window if it didn't. But yeah, I think they'll get it done. I'm pretty confident in Ineos. I think they probably know what they're doing. Like I'm saying, maybe you've got Jean-Claude Blanc, by the way, who used to work at PSG. Obviously, he came from Juventus, did really good work there. And then, as his time, I think he was CEO at PSG, oversaw like loads of trophies and obviously their projects there that they've had and stuff. Still not won the Champions League, but he did really good stuff there. Maybe he still has contacts there in and around PSG, and he's kind of getting a sniff of what's going on. FFP. I mean, I'm sure you could probably read it in articles from journalists anyway, right? You could probably go on The Athletic and do a deep dive of PSG's PSR and what the crack is there, because they've signed quite a lot of players. So I would imagine, like you said, they need to get a couple off the books. Will we end up paying what they want if it goes to the end of the window? That's the flip side of this situation, isn't it? If you get to the end and you're like, nope, we're going to wait until transfer deadline day, You wait for the 31st of August or whenever it is this year, and you go, right, 40 million. And they still go, fuck off. And you go, okay, what do we do? Then you go, okay, we've got an alternative. You go to Sanderturd. Fofana's gone to Milan, so you can't go and get him. I'm sure there's a couple of names that are there or thereabouts, but it's not the same profile as Ugarte. That's the one thing I'm like, you know, if you pivot and you go get them and you stick true to your word, maybe in terms of a long-term effect it'll have in the market that you're not going to pay what people are putting up, which I think, to be fair with the Ugarte one, it's pretty fair to say, you know, we're not paying what you paid for him a year ago when he's been, you know, or a couple of years ago, whatever it was, when he's not even been playing for you a lot. You know, he's played like 20-odd games. Same thing with De Ligt. We paid, you know, 38, 40 million for De Ligt. He'd played 20, 30 games for Bayern Munich. Same thing with Ugarte. But he weren't really in favour, but he still started. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think £40 million is probably a fair price for him. Maybe they're looking at McTominay going as well as a thing, which has been an update on that. Fulham willing to pay 30 mil. I went live earlier on today to discuss that. So maybe they're going to use some funds from that. Facundo Pellistri is very, very advanced with Panathinaikos, which is £10 million, which will also help towards PSR. So yeah, I think in terms of net spend, they're pretty balanced, but they just need PSG to bring it down by 10 million. Whether they will or not, we're just waiting for that kind of breaking news to say, yep, PSG are willing to do it. You know, they're willing to drop down by 5, let's say, and then there's going to be add-ons on top of that as well. So let's see what happens with that. Right, I'm going to dive into some comments. So if you are in TikTok, just joining, you're into football, United, transfer news, then get all your comments and questions in. And let's see what the people are saying. Apparently, Will Fish is going to Cardiff. It was just on the Welsh news. Yep. I'll touch on that towards the end when I discuss outgoings. My Damn United saying, evening, Nick. I hope you're very well. You did say you hope you're well. I'm saying I hope you're very well. You take my point. Evening, Nick. Evening, everyone. That's from Brian Casey. Lovely to see so many of you in the chat liking the video. Brian saying, I reckon they know they can negotiate a lower price. They would have to walk away already if it wasn't possible, like they did with Bran Flakes. That's a great point. You see, I think Casemiro's okay when you're playing once a week. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not sat here saying I want to get absolutely rid of Casemiro. I'm okay with him as a rotational option. I just don't want to go into the start of the season with him as the only defensive midfielder for the rest of the season. I think Ugarte should come in. I think you can use them both, which I do discuss in the new video that's going to drop either tonight or later on. We'll see about that. We'll see how active it is, how many likes we get in the video, and how many people we can get in the chat. If we get loads in, then sweet. Got you on the big telly mush. Dean and the gang just turned up. What's going on? Dean and the gang have turned up. Yes, I love that. What do we think? Representing. You see what I'm saying? A little trefoil there, wherever it's gone. I know it's mirrored, so I'm kind of going over to me. Now I'm touching my nipple. Right, moving on. McMillan says, Ineos seem like not going to be reactive and panicky. They won't deviate from their plans, structures, and strategy, no matter how other clubs react to them. Short-term pain, long-term gain is what they're saying. Alex, try saying that to someone who's about to drag the nuts through a big roll of glass. Alex, if we can bring De Ligt and Maz on sell... what? Sorry, I nearly had a stroke reading that. If we can bag De Ligt and Maz on the sell of Wan-Bissaka, I don't see why we can't get Wharton if McTominay and Peels get sold. I don't think Crystal Palace will sell Wharton this summer. I just don't see it happening. I think they're waiting for next summer, and they're going to have a queue of clubs just waiting to... Every time I hear Wharton, I think Warburton's, and I think that's a lot of money for bread. Yeah, I think there's going to be a big queue for him next summer. There'll be loads of clubs interested, but we should be at least in that queue, or he's, you know, near the first of the line. I'm all over the place today. I don't know what's going on. Dan Fenton saying Ugarte needs to get that done sooner than later, otherwise could not. Is people okay today? Could bite, not good. I don't know. I don't know if it's me reading it weird, or I'm just, people are just typing with the thumb or something. Good Tarnick, nursing a belly full of homemade steak pie, chip and gravy, so couldn't be better, mate. Hope you're good too, looking dapper in that Ahmad shirt. Thank you very much, my damn United. And may I say, steak pie, chips and gravy, you can't get much better than that. That is 8 out of 10 from me. If you want to know what my 10 out of 10 is, stay until the end of the show and we'll discuss some meals. Steph Griffiths saying United negotiating deals properly. We are not used to it. And Punch Pate saying 2 more midfielders, 9 out of 10. 2 midfielders and Tony, 10 out of 10. Wow. Wharton, the best thing since sliced bread. Steph's on it already. Steph, you absolute gem. Ugarte, pointless. Casemiro is 3 times the player. I don't know what you're smoking, but I would like some of that substance. Yeah. Nick, Dyslexia Mondays, mate. Yeah. It's something in the air in there. There's definitely something in the air. Now, I want to discuss this. I want to discuss Jadon Sancho a little bit because this kind of don't coincide with the Ugarte deal. But as you guys already know, at a risk of repeating myself and sounding like a broken record, I think having that deal there, that PSG want that player and we want Ugarte, is that not just common sense to say, listen, this is something we can do here, even if there's a loan? I've said this millions of times, so I'm not going to go too much into it. But it just works for all parties, right? Maybe they will work something like that. I think that'd be an ideal scenario. But Romano was live earlier on today, and he was saying the situation right now with Jadon Sancho is 60-40, which is still quite a good chance. So 60 that he stays, 40 that he leaves. I still think that's more than what I thought he'd be. I thought he'd be around, I don't know, fucking 15, 20 or 10, 15 that he was going to leave. So that's still a good opportunity. There's still a couple of clubs interested. But yet again, the same story that we have seen with millions of other teams when it comes to other people. Let's just focus on this a minute. When it comes to other teams paying for our players, they want to slide fucking pennies across like you've just raided your mum's Sports Direct mug and you go into the knock on the door like, yeah, sir, is 10p. Get to fuck. These players are worth what we're putting them up for. You know, like Napoli going, oh, we can't pay 25 million. We've not got enough. But when they're flogging players like fucking Koulibaly or Osimhen or go through a list of players like, yeah, we want 150 million, mate, or they're not going anywhere. You know what I mean? It's like coming to the door with a cat, like, get to fuck. What do you mean? These McTominay's worth 30 mil. You've seen Smith Rowe, Dewsbury Hall, Oliver Skip, and a line full of players go for 25, 35 million. If you're telling me McTominay ain't worth that, again, I want the substance that Napoli are smoking. Because, yeah, they're skint and now they're trying to push things. Absolute nonsense. So, yeah, it is a weird one with Sancho because genuinely I didn't think we was going to sell him. And I still don't think we're going to sell him. I think what's going to happen is I guarantee we loan him and someone will just cover his wages. I think that's what they'll do. And still they're saving money by doing that, really, because Jadon Sancho's on £350,000 a week. So that's 1.4 million a month, and you're saving 10 million a month there doing that. So there's your 10 million for Ugarte. Bing, bang, bosh. Sorted. Mate, I should be a fucking accountant or something. Again, I want to go to the flip side of this and play kind of devil's advocate with the situation. If Sancho stays, that then I could see potentially becoming a problem further down the line. And kicking up a force, comment social media. You've seen the whole script before. If he's not playing, he will kick up a force, and it'll just be that bad egg that you don't want. I'm not saying he's a bad person, but when he's not getting minutes, he'll just rub off on other people. That kind of negativity. Everyone has to be conjoined together. Excuse me, in one purpose for the future. And I feel like if he's still sat in the dressing room, it ain't gonna happen. At least he was in training today. That's something, I suppose. McTominay to Fulham. Thank you for all the follows, by the way, on TikTok. Drop us, anyone who's just followed on TikTok, come and join the community, Real Reds Talks. Absolute, and this is going to sound like the most Mancunian thing ever, a mint community. Loads of lovely, lovely people. Very knowledgeable, very funny people. So, yeah, it sounds like Donald Trump there. Don't like the Trump pression's going to come back out. Sleepy Joe. You're an idiot, Joe. Joe Biden. I wouldn't take Tony, to be honest. I'd give him the game time to Wheatley. Sancho knows he'll smash it in that league too, and if Marcus doesn't turn it around, he can follow suit. Nick reading that out with my missus listening just earned me some brownie points too. Win-win. There you go. Has anyone seen Sean, by the way? I want to know how his date went. He said he had a date last night. So, Sean, if you're in the chat, show yourself. Felix back to Chelsea, Gundogan back to City. Such a weird transfer this summer. Yeah, this window's just been the one that goes down as just a bizarre one, doesn't it? It's very, very strange. Should get Sanderberg with McTominay money and then go get Ugarte. Yes, we need two. We need both. 100% agree on that. We need two players, not just one, two. I'd be happy with just Ugarte, but you do need that other one on top. Napoli are the kid in the Cadbury shop buying chocolate with paperclip and plastic unicorns. Always with the perfect analogies. Yeah, so that's where we're at with that situation. It's very much in the balance. I think Ugarte seems like it's going to happen, and there's a lot of positivity that and momentum that PSG might drop the price. But we've seen these deals before where we thought that. I'm sure it happened with Sancho actually when he was at Dortmund. Like, oh, we're going to get him for 80 mil. Was chasing him for like 2 years, whatever it was, and then he was like, no, Dortmund want 105. Oh, they're not selling. A very similar situation could happen with Ugarte. PSG go, you know what, we're keeping him. If you're not going to give us the fifth there, we'll keep hold of him. But fingers crossed, it'll happen. Fingers crossed. Do Sancho plus 20 mil for Ugarte. In an ideal scenario, no, I don't think United will even do that. They're losing out on money by doing that. Genuinely. So I don't think they'll do it. Sancho's favourite song, Britney Spears' Toxic. Culture Boy Culture, I like your shirt. Thank you very much. Purchased today from the old GF. What a legend. Just a big shout out to the GF. 7 years. Legend. Ahmad on the back. Knows me down to a T. Yeah, big shout out to Kaylee. Didn't mean that to rhyme, but there you go. Get Ugarte in for Liverpool game. Maybe. I do think it's going to go to the wire. I do. Sancho, twice the player Ugarte is. If he comes to the Prem, he'll flop. He's Forest level max. Right, okay. Someone's not watched Ugarte before. McTom is only good when there's chaos, and when it's been chaotic, McTominay plays, and he came on Friday when it was chaotic after Mount had gone off. He can't play in a settled United side. I think that's a good analysis, to be fair. How many players do you think Man United might sign? Well, we've done the majority of our business now. I think Ugarte or another will come through the door, and then maybe like a loan at left back, or like a Hermosa, or Marcus Alonso, an opportunity like that in the market. I think they're like only 2-3 absolute max at a push, but I'd say 2 if I was to put money on it. If I was a betting man, which I am, to be fair. There's a huge difference between League One and the Prem. I agree. The French league's probably 5th, I'd say, maybe. I mean, it probably goes now. It's difficult because obviously Madrid have all the players they have, and Barcelona is still a good team. I'd probably go Prem, La Liga, German League. No, not German League, no. Prem, La Liga, Italian, German, French, maybe. I don't know, it's difficult. It's difficult because you have individual teams that are obviously better, but I mean, as a whole competitive league, it's a strange one, isn't it? So, I don't know. Open for interpretation, I suppose. So if you pick an 11, Sancho's going to be on the same team sheet before Ugarte. Listen, anyone, just sell Sancho. I mean, it's just, anyone who wants to have a debate about, just sell him, please. Yeah. Right, moving on to outgoings, the breaking news headline stuff that everyone wants to know about. But it is news, so we've got to discuss it. Hannibal Mabry is expected to leave Manchester United in the final days of the transfer window. Why is this bouncing about so much? Stop. Rangers were interested in him, but a move to Spain or France seems more than likely. Now, not to, again, sound like a broken record, but with Hannibal Mabry, I've said it for a while, don't see him ever integrating into the first team. Obviously, he did get into the first team, but I mean, being a mainstay and staying there like a Garnacho or Kobe, I just don't see it happening whatsoever. He's tenacious, he's a bit of a passion merchant, if I'm being completely honest. He's talented, but he's not the level of talent that can become a first teamer at United. And if you look at where he operates the majority of his work, we're so stacked in them positions, there's no chance he's going to get any game time. So for me, I'm not fussed about this transfer. I wish him all the best wherever he goes, like I do with any kind of United Academy product or any young player that we've bought, but he's just not United level. And I think a lot of people would agree with that, to be fair. There's some people who are still rooting for him, and I like that, have that positivity, have that belief in a player. I personally don't see it, and I never ever have. I've said it consistently for years with Hannibal. Even, I think it was last season, wasn't it, when he broke into the team, and I think he scored a couple of goals. He scored a really good goal. I can't remember who it was against. And people were like, oh, maybe, he's got, he was bringing up like his stats from like pressing and off the ball, but I don't know. I was never ever convinced, and especially when you got Mason Mount there as well. He's one of the best in the league at doing that. You don't need him there. So, yeah, wish him all the best. Let's see what happens. Can you see Anthony playing again minus injuries? I think he will play again, yeah. I could definitely see cup competitions, Europa League. He'll play. There'll be injuries at some point in that forward line. Praying it's not to my boy Ahmad or Garnacho or anyone. I don't want anyone to get injured, but I think going off last season, he'll get minutes. They're a lot more limited than last season because it took Ten Hag a while to drop Ahmad to bring Anthony off, and put him on the bench. But I think so. I think, yeah. So some people aren't even writing Anthony off yet. I'm pretty much done with him. I think The guy can't use his right foot. He cuts in all the time. He's greedy as fuck. He's more a 10 out of 10 in his head than he actually is in the pitch. Yeah, I don't know. But maybe he can come back to life. Casemiro seems like he is a little bit. So, stranger things have happened in football, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. Just quickly on Will Fish, 21-year-old centre-back. You're going to be leaving United to join Cardiff City on a permanent transfer. Another one where I wish him all the best. It was one of those where a graduate from the Man United youth system, made his first team debut a couple years ago, I think, like 2021. Been on tour a couple of times, but it was just one of them. Like, he weren't going to push in. He was just kind of hanging about, lingering about. And I think he had a nasty injury as well in pre-season, didn't he? So wish him all the well in the future. Hope all the best. That's the only thing I could say to players leaving United. And just because you don't have a career at United, you can still have a good career at other clubs. That's absolutely fine. Right, back to the comments then. What are we saying? Facundo, farewell. Yep. Panathinaikos, that's very advanced, so that deal should be going soon. And I did double check it because I was live before just researching if the Panathinaikos coach, Alonso, was the Uruguayan manager. So Panathinaikos that's their biggest transfer record, buying Pellistri. So yeah, that's a good 10 mil, I would say. If Sancho's as good as some people seem to think, then why can't we get shot of him, the little dweeb? I'd take anything over 7 mil for Hannibal and Pellistri. Yeah, these little ones, people might not think, but they will add to the transfer kitty. Does anyone know why it's called the transfer kitty, by the way? I've never understood that. I've never even used that phrase. I never ever say transfer kitty. I don't know why I've just said that. But does anyone know why we say it? Yeah, not a clue. We can add little ones to the transfer kitty and it'll just buff up the millions for PSR. Anthony should be nowhere near the team. Stick Anthony at left back. He loves that. Gone fishing or fishing gone. How is Xerxes for you? Yeah, I was impressed with his debut. The way I described him, and no one's taking this off me, I'm copywriting it. Well, I suppose I can't copyright someone else's quote, can I? But I'm taking the saying, so if anyone else says it, tell them to shut up. I said it first. Floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee. That is the best way to describe Xerxes. Because I think when he came on, he was floating about the pitch, not really in a structured, staying as a 9, threatening the running behind. He was just dropping, centrally floating, get some nice touches, flicks, linking up, combinations with players. And then you saw that for the goal. Same area, picks it up, drives it out wide, and then the timing stung it in the net. Floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee. Best way to describe it. Mazraoui unreal value, breaking the lines of play. I remember last season he pocketed Saka in the UCL. Listen, Mazraoui, everyone knows my feelings and thoughts on Mazraoui. I thought his debut was top level. Isolating that on its own, it's fair to say he was very impressive debut. Looked very good. Looked good defending, good in the air. There was a few headers that he won on the ball, right foot, left foot, timing, under pressure, very, very well. Opened up lanes for players that we've never seen before on that right-hand side because we've always had Wan-Bissaka there. But, well, Dalot, to be fair, has done okay. Yeah, I'm impressed, man. 15 mil, that could look like an absolute steal. And now it makes sense because you're like, right, okay, sell Wan-Bissaka. He's got a year left on his deal. It's going to go on a free next season. This guy improves our progression of play in the final third, and he's much better technically. We get him on a 5-6 year deal, and it's the same price. Logic. Just makes sense. Crazy stat that Mount was the best presser in the league out of all the teams in the league over the opening weekend. Can see him with Ugarte, Bruno, Xerxes will press the crap. Yeah, so I go in a bit more depth on that in the members video. I will drop it tonight, by the way. I might drop it at the end of the show, which is Ugarte versus Casemiro. Didn't mean that to rhyme either. But I speak about that in there, how Ugarte, Bruno, Mount, these kind of players, when you want to play an aggressive, transitional style of play, they're the type of players that you absolutely want in your team. And the metrics will show that in the video. So keep an eye out for that. If you want to become a member for exclusive content, for a look at that video, then yeah, click the join button next to the notification bell or click the link in the description. Right, onto the Maguire interview then. Mazraoui left back, get Dalot back to right back. Either way, I'm happy with either, to be fair. Both are comfortable over there, so I think you'll see plenty of rotation. But sticking with the defence, Maguire's been speaking about giving opportunities to young players. He said this club's always produced good young players, so they know if they come and train with us and they perform, they do well in the games, then they'll be given opportunities because this manager has proven that over the last couple of years. It's going to be up to them whether they take it, their chance or not, and have the ability and the talent they can do. Now, this isn't necessarily on that quote directly, but it just got me thinking about Maguire, because I think, obviously, over the past couple of years, he received a ridiculous amount of abuse, the most on social media, like clear of a lot of people. And at times, I think his performances under Ole definitely deserve criticism, strong criticism, especially when you're captain at United. But the abuse just went way too far at times. And you look at I think the situation in Greece or wherever it was it with his sister or something, and he had a bit of a fight and that court case was ongoing. Everything on social media, like I've already said, the biggest spotlight on him being the United captain, everything that happened with England, the abuse, all the abuse that he got with England, and the kind of criticism why Southgate not dropping him and blah blah blah. And like I said, I'm not being a guy who's like, oh, don't criticize Maguire or whatever, because I was one of them. But people took it too far, and he is a big example of when young players are coming through and they're facing a bit of resistance, or there's a bit of a mentality drop, or there's a bit of criticism from the media. He's the perfect guy to go to and say, how the fuck did you deal with that? Because he's had it the most out of any United player ever, I would probably say. I mean, obviously, you had Cantona kung fu and kicking someone. And David Beckham, the scrutiny was pretty high. So, in terms of highlighted moments, maybe not. But consistent abuse online from fans in the stadium, Maguire has dealt with it all. So, a big example. And I think, do you know what? Yeah, I think he deserves some praise from time to time. He also goes on to say, we don't really want to set any targets, but I think this club demands trophies, so we want to win another trophy, of course. And in the Premier League, we know there's large improvements that we need to do and make from what we did last season. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of changes to come game to game in the starting 11, and when your turn is upon you, you need to take your chance. And yeah, it's one that we'll need a big squad for. Survival of the fittest, don't forget I said that. I feel good, I feel fit physically and mentally. I'm in a good place, and yeah, I'm looking forward to a big season. There's so many games this season. And yeah, I think the majority, when we did the post-match review, I think the majority of you said that he had a good game. Maguire, one of the man of the matches, alongside Joao. He knows he's going to get plenty of game time. All you have to do is look at the evidence in the last couple of years at United to know that it's going to be game time, because players are going to get injuries. They're going to drop like flies, especially around the Christmas period. And if you're fit, fighting, and ready to go, you'll get picked and you'll be in that back line, like it already has at the start of the season, with Euro being out and De Ligt not being made a possibility until literally last week. So yeah, look, they keep mentioning trophies as well. That was something else that I saw. No one's really talking about top four. They're all talking about just winning trophies and a style of play. And also, you've heard reports coming out from credible journalists around United saying that, they're not necessarily saying they have to finish third or fourth, as long as they can see and identify a proper style of play at the club, and maybe you go far in some tournaments and maybe you win a trophy, then the fans will be happy with that. And you know what? I'm kind of sat here and I think, yeah, I think if we get to the end of the season, we win the Europa League, there's a clear style of play, there's an identity, and we're hard to beat, but we score a decent amount of goals. I'd probably sat here saying, right, that's an improvement. The recruitment's been good this year. Let's go, let's take it to another level and build, like Arteta did with Arsenal, like Klopp did with Liverpool, almost like Pep did with City. I think that's the way to go, personally. But yeah, I think Maguire speaks very well. Okay. Back to the comments. We still have Luke Shaw. I know he'll be back in September. Højlund back in September. Euro back in probably November, similar time to when Manu came back. So I'm gutted about Euro, to be fair. I was really looking forward to him starting the season. He looked, even in the brief bits in pre-season, I know it's only pre-season, but in them brief bits, he looked pretty good. So it's a shame that he's had a bit of a setback. But, I mean, the club are trying to use it as a bit of a positive thing, that he can get used to the club, his surroundings, the people, the defenders, and da-da-da. But I would have liked him to start the season, especially, I mean, Maguire's been okay. You've got De Ligt there now, so it's all right. But Euro looks the real deal, man. The real deal. For 18 years old, that kid is special. Euro will be back October. Yeah, October, November. We don't need to be pedantic on that one. Okay, right, sorry. There's so many comments. By the way, if members in the chat right now, if you are currently watching, I mean, some of you might not be on your phone or laptop or whatever. If you spam the word exclusive I promise you, I will drop it for members right now. I've got it in front of me. Wait, let me, because I want to test something out. Let me get it up there. So, let me just double check. It's ready to go. Where the hell? Yeah, sorry. Right, so, members. Yeah, that's ready to go. So, if you spam the word exclusive in the chat, whether it's TikTok or whether it's thing, the video's going to drop on the YouTube channel. So, spam the fuck out of that word, please, politely. And I will, I'll drop it in there for you. Obviously, we've got Leicester kicking off at 8 o'clock. It is Monday Night Football, so I know some of you guys are watching that, and I appreciate you're going to want to watch Monday Night Football over myself. That's absolutely fine. So, yeah, it's not going to be a long show tonight. Usually do about 45 minutes, but that's why we've done... that's why we've done a members video as well, so you've got something there. Whenever you want to watch it, you know, you can take 10 minutes out of your day and check it out and let us know your thoughts and feelings on that. Look at that. Look how many exclusives are going in here. Spam it. Spam. Sir Alex Ferguson's given desperate Inverness a huge hand by helping clear the club's 3 million debts. He's part of a group who chipped to save the club. Love that. Fergie, what a legend. Continuing. Come on, bruv. Subscribe to the channel, Peter. We're on 6,550 at the minute. We're on the road to 10k. So if there is anyone who wants to subscribe, who wants to come and join the community, don't have to become part of the membership. But yeah, have you got hay fever, Nick? Yes, I have. Badly. So if any like sniffs ups or itching to the throat or anything like that, I do apologise. But it's, yeah, I can't do anything about it. Pollen just doesn't like me. Wow, GM Joinery just sent me 4 roses. Absolute gem of a person. Love that. I never ever expect gifts. Well, gifts online. I mean, that sounds a bit weird, that, doesn't it? But yeah, always appreciative of that. So thank you, brother or sister, whoever. I don't know. Right, yeah, we got enough. We've got enough in there. Exclusives. Right, let me drop this for you. 2 seconds. Save changes. Okay. Eligible members will be notified in due course. So keep an eye out for that one. Let me double check. I'll put the link in the chat for you. So anyone who's on TikTok, hop over to YouTube and you shall see what the crack is and what's going on. I'm just going to save it now. Sorry, 2 seconds. I'm rambling on. And I'll pin it in the chat so you can dinga. Thank you very much, you guys. Appreciate every single one of you. Egg, bacon, sausage, and spam. There we go. Can always rely on my damned with the comedy element. Afeku Ronalds has put exclusive. Thank you very much. Is Ugarte in? Not yet. Not yet. It's getting closer. It's getting closer and closer. And trust me, when that deal does happen, if it does happen, I will be live. Yeah, I'll go live straight away. But everyone already knows that anyway. Should we leave it at that, guys? There is some football on tonight, isn't there? So, yeah, unless anyone's... You got last 5 minutes for any questions, topics, as always. Anything you guys want to say, then I will certainly discuss it. And people in TikTok as well. Any of you guys want something, a topic that I've currently missed. But I think we're pretty much up to date at a minute with the majority of the news surrounding United. Elite Baller saying, Nick, get fexofenadine. It stopped my hay fever. Fexofenadine. Let's have a look. Sorry, people are just not interested in hay fever whatsoever. Fexofenadine. Okay, so some tablets. Right, I'll look into that. Thank you very much, because I have bad hay fever. It's probably, we're going into like fall now, aren't we, or whatever it is. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, random guy. Hope you're well. Has anyone seen Sean, by the way? I need to put like a search party out for Sean. I want to know how his date went. I want details. Maybe he's married or ended up in a different country. Who knows what's going on nowadays. Lovely Sean. I hope he sealed the deal, if you know what I mean. Foxes will win. Yeah, let's get some predictions in for the Leicester game. Spurs versus Leicester. I really don't know. I really don't know. I think Spurs have made some really good signings. I like Archie Gray. I like Dominic Solanke. I don't think it'd be as good as people think, but I think it'd be decent signing for him. You've got James Maddison, Son, Kulusevski, Basuma doing balloons. Obviously, he's not playing. You've got Pape Sarr. They haven't got Oliver Skip, but they've got Bentancur, I think, who would be in the midfield. I mean, I haven't seen the team lineup, so I'm just literally guessing off the top of my head. But it should be a good game. Should be a good game. Yeah, Sean's missing in it in a minute. I don't know where he is. Bizarre one. Question to Nick: favorite chicken restaurant? Chicken restaurant. So what's that like? Slim Chickens, KFC, Wingstop? Is that what you mean? Like those kind of ones, or do you mean like more kind of bougie ones? Let me know, random. Let's just hope we can get Ugarte deal in and Amrabat as second backup. Let's get this done ASAP. Richard saying Spurs 2-1. Joshua Owen saying Spurs 2-1. I don't know. I think so, yeah. I think Spurs will definitely concede. You look at the way they play, they're so open. They're beautiful to watch attacking-wise. But I think, yeah, they should. Sneeze Cooper will lose his first game in the season. But I think they'll put up a fight. Question, do you collect anything? Dust and pollen in my nose at the minute. But seriously, collect... yeah, so I collect a lot of retro jerseys. So I don't know if my collection is there. Let me see if I can grab it. 1 second. It's not... There's not loads in here, but I've got like a pile of them. 1 second. I see reflection in your eyes. Oh my god. Oh, that in there. That's like a chunk of him. You can see him on there. Oh. Yeah, I don't know if anyone... Rarest jersey I have. Do you know what? That could be some good content, that, couldn't it? I think people are like that, you know, unboxing like retro jerseys and stuff. Yeah, I might do something like that. But the rarest one I have, probably Real Madrid one. The Teco one, or... I'm trying to think off the top of my head which ones. I've literally got a pile of them there, but I'm not going through the full pile to get them up. Rarest one. The Valencia one's a decent one. Juventus one's good one. There's a few in there. There's a few nice ones. I haven't got like top range ones. Like I still want the black United one from when Cantona had that Kung Fu kick. So like 94, 95, I think it was. I want that 88 Euros Netherlands one because I love that kit. But like the proper one's like 700 quid or something. It's absolutely mental. The Brazil one from 2000 or 2002, it may be, with R9 on the back. Like, there's a couple that I still want. Inter Milan as well, a few Inter ones from the 90s I want. So, yeah. If you could just help, £2 towards my cause. Joking. Poppy's Chicken's coming to Newport. Never had it. Oh, Popeyes. Fucking Poppy's Chicken, what am I on about? I got loads of shirt too. Original green and gold. Yeah, I've got the green and gold one. I've got that one. I used to have it on my wall, actually. People... I don't know if there's anyone who watched this channel in the chat. It sounds mad, done it about 2 years ago or something. But I had it on my wall, the green and gold one. At the World Cup 2034 in Saudi, you guys got to try out Al Baik. Absolutely beautiful chicken. Do you live in Saudi, random? Oh my lord. Yeah, I had that in the shorts. Put the tie in there. View cam. Yes, Van Basten gullet one. That's the one. I've just seen the two lineups for Leicester and Tottenham on their socials. It looks like Leicester don't stand a chance. I have that and the grey one, Atos Retro from 60s. Yeah, maybe I'll do some content around that if people are interested in it. I think that'll be some good videos, like unboxing some retro kits. And yeah, like unpacking rare ones, I suppose. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? So, anyway, sorry, slightly sidetracked there. Hope you've all enjoyed the show. I tell you, every single show, appreciate yous, man. Everyone who gets involved. If you're a member, if you're not a member, if you've just joined, if you've been here for ages, thank you very much, as always. We're on the road to 10k, and when we do it, we'll have a fucking party. So, yeah, I'll leave it at that. You guys go and enjoy the football, and we're definitely going to be back tomorrow. I'm trying to think what day is it tomorrow, Tuesday. We've got the Brighton preview coming up shortly. I'm working on a guest, and then there's a few other bits. I've just dropped that. So, did I put it in the chat before? I don't know if I did, but I'll put it back in again anyway. So, yeah, anyone, guys, check, any members in the chat, check that video out. Ugarte versus Casemiro when you get the chance. Decent video, only 8 minutes long. It's not a, it's not a dead long one that you got to proper pay attention to. So check that out. Let us know your thoughts in the comments on that one. And yeah, that'll be out for actual viewers or regular viewers, sorry, in 3 days' time, 2-3 days' time. Yeah. Don't know what was that. What on earth? If it's a sign that I've got a goal, that's a sign. I have no idea what just... Fucking hell, right? Take it easy, everyone. I'll see you